There is a seed that contains 6 times more fiber than oats. 1 tablespoon mixed with water expands to 40 times its size, creating a gel that traps sugar and slows absorption so dramatically that diabetics in clinical trials reduced their insulin needs after a single meal. It has been cultivated for 3,500 years. Aztec warriors carried it into battle as their primary fuel source. 1 pouch sustained a man for 24 hours of combat. Then it vanished. Not from fields, but from memory. Not because it stopped working, but because it worked too well. A seed that replaces fiber supplements, controls blood sugar without medication, and grows in drought conditions cannot coexist with industries that profit from chronic disease. What threatens pharmaceutical revenue must be forgotten. This is the story of the seed that fed empires and frightened corporations. Welcome to Recession Roots. Before we dig into this vault, if these roots matter to you, the best way to preserve this knowledge is simple. Subscribe, hit the bell, and share these roots with those who need to remember what we forgot. The story begins in 1519 in the capital of the Aztec Empire. Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés marched into Tenochtitlan with 500 soldiers. He found a city larger than any in Europe, fed by an agricultural system he could not comprehend. Aztec tax records documented 23 crops delivered as tribute from conquered provinces. 1 seed appeared in nearly every record. They called it chillán, the running food. Aztec messengers carried small pouches of these seeds across the empire. Mixed with water, 1 tablespoon sustained a runner for an entire day crossing mountains at altitude. Warriors consumed it before battle. Priests offered it in religious ceremonies alongside maize and amaranth. The Florentine Codex, compiled by Spanish friars between 1540 and 1585, lists chillán as equal in importance to corn and beans. This is chaya, Salvia hispanica, the seed that powered an empire and then disappeared for 400 years. The Spanish recognized the threat immediately. Chaya was sacred to Aztec religion. It was offered to gods the conquistadors wanted destroyed. More dangerously, it enabled independence. A people who could survive on a seed that grew without irrigation and stored without spoiling could not be controlled through food systems. Cortés banned chia cultivation. He burned fields. He mandated European crops that required European farming methods. Within 50 years, chia virtually vanished from commercial agriculture. The plant survived only in remote mountain villages of Mexico and Guatemala, grown by indigenous farmers who refused to forget. For 4 centuries, it existed in agricultural exile. No research, no development, no recognition, just quiet persistence in places conquistadors never fully reached. Then in 1991, a researcher named Wayne Coates arrived in Argentina searching for alternative crops for struggling farmers. He had heard rumors of an ancient seed with unusual properties. What he found in laboratory analysis made him question his equipment. Chia seeds contain 34% fiber by weight. Oats contain 10%. Steel-cut oats, marketed as the gold standard of fiber, cannot compete. But the fiber type mattered more than the quantity. Chia produces both soluble and insoluble fiber in ideal ratios. When exposed to liquid, the soluble fiber forms a gel that expands to 40 times the seed's original volume. Coates published his findings in 2004. The nutritional profile seemed impossible. Omega-3 fatty acids at 18% by weight, higher than any other whole food source. Complete protein at 16% with all essential amino acids. Calcium at 5 times the concentration of milk. Iron at 3 times the concentration of spinach. Antioxidants that preserved the seeds for years without refrigeration. But the blood sugar data triggered pharmaceutical attention. In 2010, researchers at the University of Toronto conducted the first rigorous clinical trial. Type 2 diabetics consumed chia daily for 12 weeks. The results threatened a $50 billion industry. Participants showed significant reductions in systolic blood pressure. Inflammatory markers dropped substantially. Blood sugar spikes after meals were dramatically blunted. The mechanism was simple and unglamorous. Chia gel slows gastric emptying. Food leaves your stomach more gradually. Sugar enters your bloodstream over hours instead of minutes. The pancreas can keep pace. No pharmaceutical intervention required. In 2017, researchers at Harvard published a meta-analysis of 16 clinical trials involving over 1,300 participants. Chia supplementation consistently improved glycemic control in diabetics. It reduced cardiovascular risk factors. It promoted satiety and weight loss. The data was overwhelming. So why is chia not prescribed by every doctor treating diabetes? Why does it appear in 0 official dietary guidelines for blood sugar management? Follow the money. The global diabetes drug market reached $71 billion in 2023. Metformin, insulin, GLP-1 agonists, SGLT2 inhibitors. Pharmaceutical companies have built empires on managing a disease that chia helps prevent. A seed that costs $3 per pound cannot compete with medications that cost $300 per month. Not because it works less effectively, but because it cannot be patented. The diet industry presents the same obstacle. Weight loss programs generate $200 billion annually worldwide. They depend on complexity. They require proprietary formulas, subscription plans, and branded products. Chia offers radical simplicity. 1 tablespoon before meals creates satiety. You eat less without trying. No app required, no membership fee, no recurring revenue. The fiber supplement industry sells $4 billion annually in the United States alone. Metamucil, Benefiber, Citrusel. Processed powders derived from psyllium husks, wheat dextrin, and methylcellulose. Chia delivers superior fiber in whole food form, but you cannot patent a seed that has existed for 3,500 years. You can only ignore it. The biological mechanism that makes chia remarkable is called mucilage production. When chia contacts water, the seed coat releases polysaccharides that form a gel within minutes. This gel is not digested in the stomach or small intestine. It reaches the colon intact, where gut bacteria ferment it into short-chain fatty acids. These compounds reduce inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and feed beneficial microbiome species. No laboratory has successfully synthesized mucilage with chia's properties. The pharmaceutical industry has tried. They cannot replicate what evolution perfected over millions of years, so they ignore it instead. Chia grows where modern agriculture fails. It requires 1/3 the water of corn. It tolerates poor soil, high altitude, and temperature extremes. It needs no fertilizer because it is not a heavy nitrogen feeder. It needs no pesticides because few insects bother it. The plant is essentially maintenance-free. A single plant produces thousands of seeds. Those seeds remain viable for years without special storage. Farmers can save and replant indefinitely. There is no hybrid vigor to exploit, no terminator gene to enforce, no intellectual property to protect. Chia cannot be controlled. Today, chia has partially resurfaced. You find it in grocery stores, marketed as a superfood with a premium price. Health influencers add it to smoothies, but the medical establishment maintains silence. Dietary guidelines do not mention it. Doctors do not prescribe it. The American Diabetes Association recommends fiber intake, but never specifies chia as a source. The knowledge gap is intentional. Widespread chia adoption would reduce pharmaceutical dependence. It would undermine fiber supplement sales. It would prove that chronic disease management does not require chronic purchasing. Identifying chia is straightforward. The plant grows 2 to 4 feet tall with opposite leaves and purple or white flower spikes. But most people will simply buy seeds. Look for black or white varieties. Both are nutritionally identical. Avoid pre-ground chia, which oxidizes and loses omega-3 content. Whole seeds last years. Using chia requires no cooking. Add 1 tablespoon to water and wait 15 minutes. The GEL forms automatically. Drink it before meals to reduce blood sugar spikes and increase satiety. Add seeds to yogurt, oatmeal, or smoothies. Make chia pudding by soaking 3 tablespoons in 1 cup of liquid overnight. The seeds absorb everything and become dessert. Start slowly. The fiber content is intense. Your gut microbiome needs time to adapt. Begin with 1 teaspoon daily and increase over 2 weeks. We did not lose chia. Cortes tried to burn it out of existence. 4 centuries of neglect nearly succeeded, but the mountain farmers of Oaxaca and Guatemala kept planting. They remembered what empires tried to erase. Every tablespoon of chia is a rejection of pharmaceutical dependence. Every seed soaked in water is fiber that costs pennies instead of dollars. Every garden that grows it is another source that cannot be controlled, cannot be patented, and cannot be deleted from memory again. The conquistadors failed. The pharmaceutical industry will fail too. Chia survived 400 years of erasure. It will survive whatever comes next. If this root revealed something for you, subscribe to Recession Roots and hit the bell. Every like and every share preserves what they tried to erase. The next root breaks ground soon.